The governor of Ohio, Mike DeWine, recently expressed regret over the damage to East Palestine's citizens due to a hazardous train crash, stating no other community should have to go through this. But these mishaps occur with startling regularity. An analysis by The Guardian of information gathered by the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, and by nonprofit organizations that monitor chemical accidents in the U.S. reveals that accidental releases, whether they be from train derailments, truck collisions, pipeline ruptures, or industrial plant leaks and spills, are regularly occurring all over the nation. According to one estimate, these accidents happen on average every 2 days. More than 30 instances, or almost one every day and a half, were reported by the Coalition to Avoid Chemical Disasters in just the first 7 weeks of 2023. The coalition reported 188 last year, an increase from 177 in 2021. Since the group began tracking incidences in April 2020, it has recorded more than 470 instances. The group has recorded a wide range of instances, all involving the unintentional discharge of substances thought to pose risk to human and environmental health. For instance, a caustic substance spill at a recycling business in California in September resulted in the evacuation of 300 individuals and the hospitalization of 9 persons. Officials issued a shelter-in-place order to residents in October following an explosion and fire at a Louisiana petrochemical plant. In November, a beverage manufacturing facility accident caused a chemical cloud to cover the town, forcing the evacuation of schools and requiring the treatment of more than 100 residents in Atchison, Kansas, for respiratory issues. In December, a massive pipeline exploded in rural northern Kansas, resulting in 588,000 gallons of diluted bitumen crude oil covering the area's land and waters. At a cost estimated at $488 million, hundreds of workers are still working to clean up the pipeline catastrophe. Because so many U.S. government agencies are involved in the response, it is difficult to pinpoint exactly how many hazardous chemical incidents there have been. Still, according to the EPA, the agency has performed an average of 235 emergency response actions per year, including responses to discharges of hazardous chemicals or oil over the past 10 years. According to the organization, the EPA's Emergency Response and Disposal Program employs about 250 workers. But, the great majority of events occur at the tens of thousands of sites around the nation that handle and store hazardous chemicals. According to him, 200 million individuals worldwide, many of whom are members of underprivileged groups or people of color, are regularly at risk. According to a Government Accountability Office (GAO) report published last year, around 12,000 sites across the country have on-site extremely hazardous chemicals in amounts that could harm people, the environment, or property if accidentally released. These facilities include, among others, water and wastewater treatment facilities, fertilizer factories, cold storage facilities, and petroleum refineries. According to EPA data, there were more than 1,650 accidents at these sites between 2004 and 2013, or nearly 160 each year. From 2014 and 2020, there were reported to be over 775. Also, the EPA reported that after looking at incidents over the past 5 years, it discovered that 47,000 people were ordered to shelter in place, whereas 46,000 people had to evacuate due to accidents. According to the EPA, coal, oil, and chemical manufacturing facilities have relatively high accident rates. Texas had the most reported accidents, followed by Louisiana and California. In August, the EPA made several revisions to the Risk Management Program, RMP, rules that apply to facilities that handle hazardous chemicals. The EPA's realization that many chemical facilities are situated in places that are susceptible to the effects of the climate crisis, such as power outages, flooding, hurricanes, and other weather disasters, is reflected in the regulation modifications. The suggested reforms include improved emergency preparedness, enhanced public access to information about the hazards communities face from hazardous chemicals, and new accident prevention measures. Stronger regulations have been resisted by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, which claims that most facilities operate safely, accidents are declining, and the facilities affected by rule changes provide essential products and services that help drive our economy and provide jobs in our communities. The American Chemical Council, American Forest and Paper Association, American Fuel, and petrochemical manufacturers, and the American Petroleum Institute are further opponents of tightening safety regulations.